You're listening to the Grind Line Podcast.
What's up, and welcome to another episode of the Grind Line Podcast. I'm your host, Greg. You're listening to episode 334. I am here tonight with Ryan.
Hello.
Ryan, how are you?
Other than a meltdown from a 5-year-old, pretty good. We got schedules. We got timing. We know what October will look like and who's staying at my house potentially, or just not showing up because apparently Michigan football is more important, Tyler.
Yeah, notice who's not on the podcast and who now says they might not come to opening night because they want to go to a Michigan game.
You know, any other season, I would accept this. Because I get it. He's a Michigan fan. When he comes into town, he always tries to go to a game if it's available. It's the centennial. That's 100 seasons. It happens once. I'm sorry. Is there going to be things going on that weekend? I don't know. It's the home opener. There's probably things going on Thursday. I might have to take 2 days off. I might have to pull my kid out of school early because now my oldest wants to go to the home opener after she got her first taste of it last year. And she's a psycho like me when it comes to that stuff. So, Tyler, we're going to talk.
It's 100 seasons, water is wet, and Tyler's a loser. But tonight we have stuff to talk about. So we have the NHL schedule release. We have the Red Wings full schedule. We have a signing, and we have what I consider to be a pretty massive NHL.com flub and omission and snub of one of our best players. But let's start off the top. We're going to start with Carter Bear. Carter Bear signed his 3-year entry-level contract today. Today on the 16th of July, he signed it. Just to remind you all, he was our first-round pick this year, number 13. He is 18 years old, 6 feet tall, 179-pound left shot winger. Carter Bear last season with the Everett Silvertips, he wore the A in 56 games played, had 40 goals, 42 assists for 82 points. He is, you can read if you go on EP, they're a great resource for everything. Download their draft guide. You'll get just like a huge write-up on Carter Bear.
You have to be sub for the draft guide, though.
You have to pay for for elite prospects to get the draft access to the draft guide. Yes.
If it's something that mildly interests you,
yeah,
I highly encourage you to do it.
Even if you just like sub for the month that the draft guide drops and you get the draft guide, it's completely worth it. It removes ads. It gives you player agent information and game by game breakdown of like if they're in a lower league, it'll give you game logs, which is incredibly useful because they're like the only place you can get it for some leagues. But Carter Bear, the one thing that came up over and over and over again in every single kind of scouting opportunity was that he is probably, EP called him probably the most like intense, like relentless player that they've ever profiled. And that's saying something. He rated like a 99 overall out of prospects, 99 on defense, a high 90s on offense. It's just if he's not blocking pucks, he's making plays. If he's not tipping pucks in the front of the net, he's making just insane seam passes to open ice. He seems to be the guy that kind of does it all. And I think he'll pretty quickly jump up in our prospect rankings towards the top. Like where we have ASP right now, we've got Nate Danielson, we've got Kosa, Booch as a sleeper. I think Carter Bear will slowly creep up. And it's even, I think, more of a chance now that he signed this contract, because by signing this contract, he can't go to the NCAA.
He can't at all?
He cannot. If they have a NHL contract, they cannot play college hockey.
So there's that downfall, if you will. No, it's I love the fact that they did sign him, because guess what? That contract can slide. It is what it is. Does it mean he's going to make Detroit? No. Does it mean anything crazy as far as what could happen with him this season? No. But at the same time, what you've got is a guy that's now under team control. So much like the closest that we can have to comparison for North America, Rasmussen.
Oh, you mean a guy that started in the CHL? Yeah, the Red Wings don't draft from the CHL a lot.
No. So probably the most recent high draft pick that we've had, that's
Joe Veleno.
Going back. Joe and Raz. Either way, Detroit's got him under control now. So they're going to be, I like it in the sense of early on development. It's not like he's going to a bad league. He's going to one of the best leagues in the world for junior hockey development. Love it. Would I like to see him go do some NCAA stuff? Sure. But at the same time, like
Emmett
it is
Finney?
what it is. I'm sorry.
Emmett Finney, he went back to Kamloops.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Sorry,
I always forget that he's here. Maybe it is Emmett. But either way, to me, it's a great thing. Their contract can slide. It doesn't hurt you. Like the next two, because you can slide it for what, 2 years?
2 times. Yep.
Yeah. So you get the next 2 years to play with it. But it also means that after, I mean, who knows within the next year what could happen with the agreement between the AHL and the CHL, because it sounds like that might be dynamically shifting.
It's done. So they will be able to have NHL teams will be able to have 1 player per season go to the AHL at age 19 instead of 20. And I believe that is starting next season. So
for him, that could be in Detroit prospect growth. That could be huge.
Yeah, I think it's huge that way. I think we had talked about it a little bit online back and forth with a couple people. They may have to make some AHL shifts because it is a hard-hitting league. It's full of a lot of journeymen and tweeners that are like right between the AHL and the NHL, and guys that are there to earn a paycheck for their family. So they go out and beat the shit out of people.
Hey, making 6 figures to go play some AHL hockey, to get into a couple fights on occasion and not get fired, I'll take it.
But the point of that is that when it's going to be a lot harder on a 19-year-old maybe than it is on a 20-year-old.
Sure.
Because of the body growth and maturity. So they may need to make some adjustment in the AHL, whether that's utilizing the ECHL more and making that really the tough. It's already a tough league, but making that more the hard-hitting, heavy style league, and maybe finessing the AHL a little bit the way the NHL has become more skilled. Because if you do get an influx of those younger players, I think there's a greater risk there of injury.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out, but I'm excited for the sake of what him potentially making an impact sooner rather than later. And I really I retweeted it, reposted, whatever you want to call it, the other day. Our good friend Tony Ferrari at the Hockey News did a deep dive on, quote, the NHL prospect pool overview 25-26. Detroit Red Wings top tier goalies highlight a deep pipeline. His article from a day ago, so 7/15. But he goes into Carter Bear, and I really like how he's almost putting him up there with an MBN and Nate Danielson, and as a guy that can come in and make an impact sooner rather than later, which Detroit at this point, the harping has been Yzerplan, right? Yzerplan, if we're quoting DMAC. But it's a difficult thing to process because hockey prospects, unless you're getting a generational talent like Macklin Celebrini, with what we saw with San Jose, it takes time. These guys take 2-3 years at minimum because, as we've said many times before, they're getting drafted at 17, 18 years old. But there's the potential with Carter Bear to see him in the next 2 years, maybe in Detroit. Not saying that it's a lock. A lot can happen in that time frame. But with where things are trending right now with this roster, the youth movement is now. Like, we're there.
Yeah, I think because even more so because of the style of his game. I don't think you're expecting him to come out and just be like this dazzling star, like fly around the ice and pot 100 goals. You're expecting him to contribute on every level. He's like a big two-way player is what Carter Bear is. So I think if anyone in the Red Wings lack maybe a lot of top 6 potential in their prospect pool. They have a lot, like Tony was saying, because I watched the video and read the article. There's a lot of good players, but there are not many great players in the pipeline.
Was the word that he used.
Carter Bear, he's got the top 6 potential. Nate Danielson's got the top 6 potential. I think sneaky pick Buchelnikov has top 6 potential, but past there, you're a little light. So I think if anyone has the chance to just make a quick jump, it's someone like Bear.
I like Tony's point from the first portion of his article called it Under Initial Thoughts. He said, quote, Carter Bear, their most recent first round pick, might have the highest realistic upside of any forward in the system. and he seems destined to be a very capable second line winger who can score, hit, and do just about everything a coach wants from a player, end quote. And what's I think important about that little snippet of Tony's review is that kind of speaks to everything Yzerman's been talking about with the guys that he's been drafted, doesn't it? You look at a Danielson, you look at an MBN. They've been preaching for years. Yes, I know we heard it from Newsy over and over. We heard it from Blashill even after Yzerman came in. We're hearing it from McClellan. Play that full game, 200-foot ice, 200-foot game. Go out there, you make an impact on defense. Now you can go score a goal, help set up a goal, or even your defensive play helps do that. And that is what you see, especially MBN, I think, could be a sneaky guy to potentially make this roster coming out of camp. I love Nate the Great. Don't get me wrong. It seems like he might be a solid third line wing center, but capability of going between in your middle six, not a bad thing. MBN, same type of thing where you can go middle six, but Carter Bear, if things pan out, again, we don't know how it could end up. That you're still within a 3-year window, but two of those guys that in particular on the forward side could be making an impact on this team. Carter Mazer, if he's coming in healthy, he could be making this roster out of camp. That's a big, high energy, high motor guy that you want to see making your bottom six or middle six for that matter. He can play anywhere in the lineup and make an impact. That's what they're starting to pull together. That's what you've seen a lot with Tampa. Yes, they've had elite when Yzerman was there, I should say. Yes, they had elite scoring. I get it. Detroit is getting there. Now we might have the diamond in the rough with Marco Casper. You sprinkle in some of these guys. Maybe we hit with one of them. I know it's glass half full type thinking, but that's what we have to hang our hat on. We have a very underwhelming free agency class. Part of that was because the cap went up. That benefited teams that we didn't think it would necessarily benefit. Fuck you, Vegas. The fact of the matter is you've got a young group of talent coming through. But we're not alone. That's the only downfall. There's a lot of teams, especially in the Atlantic, that have a lot of young talent coming in. That's going to make shit really difficult to get the next step. But we'll see how it plays.
Yeah, so we're going to talk about after the break, which this is a good place to break. We're going to talk a little bit about the schedule and those other teams that are coming up on a trip. Before we go to break, I just want to remind everyone we are on YouTube. If you go to youtube.com, search Grindline Podcast, you can find our channel there, sub to our channel, turn on notifications. You'll be notified whenever an episode goes live. I have not yet had a reason to really do a breaking news kind of post, but when those do come up, we do them as well. So you can go to YouTube, sub to us, and turn on notifications.
I forgot to pull it up. I was pulling up the draft guide from Elite Prospects as we were talking there. I wanted to highlight it. Carter Bear, for reference, is the number 8 ranked prospect per Elite Prospects draft guide. It came in at an A grade for them. So
yeah, he was also voted by Scouts best motor and third best two-way forward.
Kind of a big deal.
Big deal. All right, we're going to take a break. Word from our sponsor. We'll be right back to talk about the schedule and a Red Wings snub. So hold on tight. We'll be right back in a minute. During our quick break, I just want to tell everyone about something that's totally changed my mornings. Strong Coffee Company. If you're like me, you love your coffee, but you also want it to actually do something for you. This is the upgrade you've been looking for. Strong Coffee isn't your average cup of joe. It's an all-in-one instant blend made for people who care about their health and performance. You're getting 15 grams of grass-fed protein, 5 grams of MCTs for long-lasting energy, and adaptogens like ashwagandha and L-theanine to help you stay calm, focused, and productive without the jitters or crash. The black blend is bold and smooth, made from organic fair trade Arabica beans, and their lattes, they've got collagen, hyaluronic acid, healthy fats, the works. It tastes amazing and helps you feel sharper, sleep better, and just show up as your best self every day. And on top of all that, they're eco-friendly too, so you can feel good about what you're putting in your body and how it's made. Check them out at strongcoffeecompany.com and use our code GRINDLINE. That's strongcoffeecompany.com, promo code GRINDLINE at checkout for 20% off. That's GRINDLINE for 20% off your order. Give it a shot. I think you're going to love it. And we're back. And the Red Wings did release their schedule in kind of like a 1920s style video with a really great appearance from Ken Cal, who talked like a mobster behind a bar. But they're gonna really play out this 100-year anniversary thing.
I love it
until it's dead. It'll be really cheesy.
Just don't do Prohibition era, because then no beer sales might be bad.
No dry night at LCA. Yeah. We're not going to do that. But as we were talking a little bit before we hit record, that you said the Red Wings kind of have a little bit of a gauntlet to start the year. So home opener is the 9th against Montreal, October 9th against Montreal, where all things so far go well. We will be in attendance at the home opener against Montreal on the 9th.
In some fashion, there's no doubt.
The Red Wings have 6 home games and 6 away games. So we split the month of October. There are actually 2 back-to-backs in October. 22nd and 23rd against Buffalo and the Islanders, 30th and 31st against LA and Anaheim.
At least those are short back-to-backs, like distance-wise.
Yeah, you're in California and there's not a lot of extreme travel.
You're crossing New York and a portion of California.
Yeah. But to cover October, Montreal, Toronto, Florida, Tampa, Edmonton, Buffalo, Islanders, St. Louis, LA, and Anaheim. And I looked at it and mulled it over and kind of took into account, like, how did the Red Wings do against these teams the last few seasons? And I have our October sitting at 6-4-2. That would come out to be basically, we would have a better win percentage. We'd come out with more points than we lose. Is that a great start to the season? I think that would be a good start to the season based on what you got to go against. We've performed well against Toronto recently. Same thing against Tampa. Buffalo normally has our number. But there are teams in there that I think that are absolutely beatable. Anaheim is beatable. St. Louis is beatable. Florida's going to, I think, just be a juggernaut again. But I think a lot of people put Doom on this.
They might be without Chuck E. Cheese until December, it sounds like.
But so maybe even better. I think we come out better than people are thinking we do in October.
I hope so, because we've had a lot of fluff and hope. And then December is usually a bad month. And then we come back and we're like, yeah, we're great again. And then things go bad. But you need a strong month to start out, because last season, I was going through some of the old YouTubes, what was it, last week, and noticed that as early as the start of November, we were talking about we need a new fucking coach. So as long as we're not having sad conversations after a month of hockey, good spot.
If we start off hot the way that Todd started off his tenure in Detroit hot, that's good. We got to steal. The thing is, you got to steal games. So maybe you steal a game from Florida. Maybe you steal a game. Like, I think you should at least steal one from Toronto. Moving to November, though, I think November is a little more interesting. So November, we've got a lot of home games. It's 9 home games and 5 away games. So we've got San Jose, Vegas, the Rangers, Chicago, Anaheim, Buffalo, the Rangers again, Seattle, the Islanders, the Jackets, the Devils, the Predators, Tampa, and Boston. And Tampa and Boston's are only back-to-back in November, the 28th and 29th. In November, I have us going, where is my notes? 8-5-1. So I think that would be a good November for the Wings. Huh?
Ballsy, but I can see where you're getting at it.
8-5-1. I don't think that's too bad. That's almost splitting the month. That's coming out like a game ahead, 2 games ahead.
The only toss-ups I'd have in there are Buffalo, Columbus, and Nashville.
I don't know. Columbus might be one of the people who see the most regression next season from where they landed.
And every time I try to think about that happening, it always backfires. I don't even want to try to guess who's going to do worse or not, because we thought that with Boston for 4 years, and they whooped our ass and then made the playoffs and did really good. I think it's finally the year where they suck. That's besides.
I mean, they were not great this season. So, no. And they didn't really do anything to address much. And it looks like they might actually start rebuilding, hopefully. So I think we could steal games from Boston. But like you said, the Islanders can be a toss-up game. You say that the Jackets could be a toss-up game. I say that the Kraken, one of the Rangers games, like, I don't know how good the Rangers are actually going to be this season. So
yeah, that's a weird team.
It's weird because, again, they went big and they got the best defenseman available in free agency. But besides that, Not much. And then there's questions like what's going to happen with Panarin. So there's a little bit of discord in that Rangers, not in the Rangers locker room, but in the organization as to what's the direction they're going to go and what's going to happen with them. And they really didn't make any big moves that I feel like they needed to make themselves ultra competitive. So you can steal a game from the Rangers there. You can, again, Buffalo's always the crazy one. You don't know what's going to happen with Buffalo. Tampa is another one. Does Tampa come into LCA and win, or do we put that Hockey Town logo on the ice and it gives them that extra energy they need to steal some games?
Man, I don't think we've really talked about that part much, or at least I wasn't on that episode. Am I in the minority of the group that I don't want the Hockey Town logo with the 100 logo?
Yes. Yes, you were in the minority of the group, I think.
Do I want Hockey Town back on center ice? Yes. Do I think that the Centennial should be by itself? Also, yes. Do I like both and that I used 2 emails to vote for both logos in the contest?
You son of a bitch.
Also, yes.
Wow, Ryan.
I don't know. I want Hockey Town back, but we also need to stop being spoiled little bitches on fucking X, Facebook, every other platform, and accept the fact that we're still trying to get to that point of being relevant and go with it. I'll stop right there. I'm not going to go on that rant again
Ryan's
of
gonna get
immediate
mad.
gratification of dickbags online.
And rant. December, we play Boston, Columbus, Seattle, Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Chicago, the Islanders, Utah, Washington, Dallas, Carolina, Toronto, and Winnipeg are back-to-backs. We've actually got 3 back-to-backs in December. Calgary, Edmonton, Washington, home and away, and Carolina, Toronto. Carolina, Toronto is the biggest travel, it looks like, of back-to-backs because the last one was Tampa, Boston. Maybe they're around the same. But we have 3 back-to-backs in the month. And that month, I have us going 8 and 7 in December. So almost splitting the month. Again, I think there's winnable games there. And you have a team that hopefully their confidence level is high enough now with new coaching and established system over the summer, getting guys in the lineup, getting more depth with guys like Appleton and guys like JVR, that maybe you come out and you steal a game or 2. So I have the Red Wings ending 2025 at 22-16-3. That's, I think, a respectable record to end the year on before going into 2026.
When in at 50 points, what were they at we were 15-8-4 going into as of January 1st this past season at 34 points. That'd be a hell of a jump.
You say 15-8-4?
15-18-4. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
I think I did say 8. I looked at the 8 only and only read one. Yeah.
Well, that would have just been 15-18-4. That would have been 2 more losses and 1 more overtime loss. But we play a lot more games before January 1st than we did last year.
Through January 1st last year. What do we have?
Yeah, we've got, let's see, 40, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 41 games before the new year this year.
I wonder if they're kind of compacting things with the Olympic break.
We had 4 nations last year.
Yeah, but was that a 2-week break? Yeah, it was a 2-week.
That was a 2-week break.
Either way, that'd be a hell of a turnaround. To put it in reference or perspective, that's probably the more appropriate word. Only 5 teams last year, as of going into January 1st, had 50 points or more. The Jets, Vegas, Caps, Devils, and Wild. And then, the LA Kings had 49. They were 22-10-5. So...
Well, the other thing to take into account with this schedule coming up this year is the Olympic break. Like you said, the Red Wings do have 3 days off before the Olympic break. And when we come back from Olympic break, they have 4 days off.
22 days in between games.
Which is either really good or really bad. If they're on a heater, that could mess up a heater. That could mess up. You're playing great, and now you've got to take a ton of days off, and then you kind of fall out of the groove. If they're having not a great January, that is an excellent time to reset for everyone.
Well, you think about it, I'm going to assume potentially Larkin is gone for this. Lucas Raymond. So there's two guys.
Mo.
Maybe DeBrincat goes off. I think he's a fringe guy for me. That's probably it.
Cider.
I was talking forward. Going to the defensive group, Cider for sure. There's three guys. Potentially Gustafson, 4. Simon Edvinson, 5. Then you've got the potential of John Gibson. You could have 6 guys out of your roster going to the Olympics.
Now, could that also be helpful, though? Those
could.
guys stay in game shape. Some of your top guys, because only the top guys go to the Olympics.
True.
They stay in game shape through those 2 weeks. And someone else had mentioned earlier, they're like, oh, it's just like 4 Nations, someone's going to get hurt. And I think Olympics are a little bit different because the rules, those are IIHF rules that you have to follow. So I believe it's going to be a lot less physical than you saw at 4 Nations, which was NHL sanctioned.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's more protections to the players, which we know with NHL or international rules, which could be good, but international hockey in the Olympics in particular, that's tough. And that would be my worry. Is it didn't seem like Larks and Ray after the break were right. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking too deep into it. Maybe because we've been
we knew Larkin was hurt.
He seemed off.
Yeah.
But that'd be my only fear, especially with Cider.
Yeah, Mo's an Iron Man. We don't need him getting hurt. But yeah, that's the first half of the year. 22, 16, and 3 is my prediction. We'll come back to it once we get around New Year and see how we did. But how we want to round out tonight is just the horrible, horrible, just tragedy that is NHL.com writing on social media. So they had posted over the past week a few charts. One was U23 players in points, and Lucas Raymond was second on that list. U23 players in goals, Raymond was second. U23 players in assists, Raymond was second. And then they went and posted the top 10 forwards under 25.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, it's really good. I mean, that's pretty great. But then they posted a list of top 10 forwards under the age of 25, and Lucas Raymond is not on the list. You've got Stützle, Jack Hughes, Matt Boldy, Wyatt Johnston, Cole Caulfield, Connor Bedard, Macklin Celebrini, Matthew Nyes, Seth Jarvis, and Matvei Michkov. And to me, how does Raymond not make it at probably number 3 right now? I think Stützle at 1, I think, is very overrated. But I think that Raymond should still be in the top 3 of this list. And I think that's a massive snub. And Red Wings Social even called them out on it. It was pretty funny.
I'm not going to take anything away from the list. Those are some great young players. But Lucas Raymond is 100% deserving of being in that top 10. Is that bias from us? I don't give a shit. You can say it. You can call us homers, whatever you want to call us. You've said plenty. But to me, I think he is definitely top 5. And Macklin Celebrini in a year, I think he pushes himself to the top of that list. Not because of points, but because he's shown in a single season how good he can be. And if he continues on that trajectory, that's San Jose is a lucky fucking franchise.
Isn't your disappointment on that list Connor Bedard at number 6?
Kind of, but that's tough for me. He's arguably in a worse situation than San Jose, which is actually hilarious to me because the way that Verbeek has revamped. I'm sorry, that's Anaheim. Who's Greer, right? Greer's still in charge of San Jose.
Mike Greer.
The way that Greer has revamped San Jose to try to make them more relevant. Not to say that Chicago's not trying to do the same thing, but I feel like they've been far more aggressive with San Jose to try to get them guys around an elite talent. But still, those are 2 great young players to build your team around. And Bedard is scary good.
He is, but I looked like they posted the projected lines for the Blackhawks, and I looked at their defense, and I'm like, I literally recognize 2 names. I know 2 of these names, and everyone else, who the hell are these guys? So it's going to be rough. It's going to be really rough for Bedard. And if I'm him, I'm kind of mad. Like, you need to go out and put stuff around. Don't waste his youth. Don't have him get trapped in a garbage system. Don't have him consistently exposed every night and just expect him to overcome it, because he was like touted as McDavid Light, and he's not. He's not McDavid Light. Is he a damn good player? Yes, he is. But you're not putting him in the best position to succeed because you literally did nothing to help him out last season, and you really didn't do anything this offseason to help him out either. So that's kind of the disappointment for me. I don't know why Cole Caulfield is at number 5. I don't know why Wyatt Johnson's at number 4. Like I said, Lucas Raymond, I would be shocked if Lucas Raymond was not a point per game player this season or more.
You need it. I know that we've hammered this with Larkin in particular. You need that elite player to hit. I'm not saying that Dylan Larkin is not. To me, I think he is right there on that border of being a true elite player. Scoring wise, not necessarily, but what he brings is a full game. Yes. Ray. And now if you bring the emergence of Casper, huge all day.
Cool. That's where we're going to wrap it tonight. Ryan, I want your final thoughts before we sign off.
Final thoughts. I need to start planning what I can do in terms of making it down to LCA this year. The home opener will be there for sure. After that, I have no idea. Might try to do a date night for the New Year's Eve game. That was fun. Wife and I did that a couple years ago. Loved it. Stayed downtown on an Airbnb. Great time. Glad the schedule's out. I love the way that they're leaning hard into the 20s and trying to bring back, make it just fun, because you need that. With the way this team has been the last several years, they're right there on the cusp. And the youth movement finally take hold and bring them to a new level. I guess we'll find out. But yeah, love it. Already ran 33.
Yeah, the game, there's a game on my birthday this year, so I might go see Nashville play the Red Wings, and maybe we beat Nashville because, again, they're another team that spent a lot of money last season and came up real short. So we'll see what happens this season, how competitive they are. But you can follow me online at Bringing the Wing. You can follow the Grindline podcast online at Grindline Pod. Get a shout out to the Hockey Podcast Network for hosting us and spreading us around. Vintage Detroit Collection, which is the only place you should get your Detroit jerseys from and worked on, and where we have an exclusive t-shirt collection. If you go there, click the Keep It Local tab, click the Grindline Podcast, you will find all our designs there that you can buy on cool merch, like the Bingo Bango shirt I'm wearing right now. So if you're on YouTube, this is one of them, one of the shirts you can get. And speaking of YouTube,
so soft.
You can sub to us there, turn on those notifications. You'll be notified whenever an episode goes live. That is going to do it for us tonight. So for Ryan, I am Greg. You stay classy, Hockey Town.